Nick, welcome to Sound Cellar. Welcome.
Thank you, Tommy.
I'm delighted to see you today. Thank you very much for coming.
Yes, I'm Nick from Demons of Inferno.
Yes.
It's a new YouTube channel. I'm here with my friend Tony.
Tony, yes.
Behind the cameras.
The main man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is my first interview, and you have to be...
Bear with you.
Yes. So, Tommy, tell me a bit about
Sound
Cellar.
Yeah, well, Sound Cellar's been here a long time. 47 years this year. It's always had the name, been a rock shop. A lot of people didn't come in at the start because they thought it was just ordinary rock and heavy metal, but we do everything. We do the blues, we do folk, we do the country, Texas country especially.
Yeah.
You know, not your average like Daniel O'Donnell and things like that. No, we don't touch that. The shop was too small even to touch that in the first place, so we have to try and put in as much as we can into the amount of room that we've got. You know, so we try to have a bit of everything.
Okay.
But it is very, very much, even in the blues end of it, we go to the rock end of the blues. But we also do the old timer, like, you know, so Sonny with Boy Williamson and things like that. We'll do that, and no problem. John Mayall, yeah, we do everything.
Good. And why metal?
Why metal? Well, at the time when we started off first, there was no metal shops. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. The nearest shop you made it come near it, I thought was Murray's. And
Where was that?
it was over the far side of the town here, in just the other side of the Hatley Bridge there. And it was called Murray's, but again it was very small. And it's where we would have sort of hung around at the time. And eventually, when I started getting an interest in this end of it, I've always said to myself, I was working with Pat Egan at the time, and he always wanted to. He was a DJ and I was his roadie, and when we'd go to the place, he'd always play rock. There'd always be he was playing Van Morrison before everybody knew who Van Morrison was. He was playing Quo before anybody was. You know, I was always on more of a rock show. So when he went out on stage, but he said, look, he always wanted to open up a record shop, and he always wanted something that was different than everywhere else. And this is what we came up with. I remember the first week we opened up, we got flooded. The first weekends we got flooded. Yeah, and it used to be an old cobbler's shop before we had it. It was lying idle, and it was just one of those things. But look, we haven't looked back since. We're still here. A lot of shops are gone. We're still here, and we're still doing the same thing, like rock, and it's done us very well. So why should it change?
So people still buying?
Still buying,
Yeah.
especially vinyls again. But well, again, excuse me. Again, we never got out of vinyls. We always sold vinyls. Vinyls was always a big thing here, because we specialise. The music that we sell here, metal, blues, people always bought the vinyls. As a matter of fact, they bought the vinyls and the CDs. They always wanted that, always. And like the lowest that my sales ever went down as far as vinyls were concerned was about 25%, 26%, about that. That was the lowest they ever got. And now they're back up again.
Yes.
And
Like
as a matter
tapes.
what, sorry?
Like tapes.
Yes, like tapes, exactly. Tapes are coming back again. They've just released tapes again now, lately, Nirvana and that tapes, and one of the Eric Clapton ones came out on tape, and so the Def Leppard's last album. So like it's turning around again, because the machines that were there years gone by for the cassettes, especially tapes, the sound of them were fantastic. They were brilliant altogether.
I remember the old times.
Yes, yeah.
In my country.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But even now today, a lot of people would rather have had their tape machines still playing rather than CDs.
Yeah.
Some people say they're too sharp, the CDs, the sound wise. But look, to me, music is music. As long as you can make sure and make them enjoy it, why? You know.
So you prefer vinyl, CD?
I do prefer vinyl all the time. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Especially on the blues end of it as well, because the sound is so sharp. Most of the blues music you play, people look at the guitar players. They listen to the guitar players. The vocals and all that usually comes second. But if you've got a really good album, blues album, it's striking. When you hit the first note, bang! It's
Can you tell me your 5 favorite albums?
my 5 favorite albums in metal.
Yes. Metal.
Well, metal and rock.
Yes.
Yeah, I say my favourite album would be Testaments the Gathering. One of the all-time greats. Still sells. It's well over 25 years old now. I'm still selling it. As far as the rock is concerned, Saxon's The Eagle Has Landed, the live one. terrific, absolutely terrific album. Never cease it. Every time you play it, they've re-released it lately with 7 extra tracks, and they're amazing. You know, but it goes all across. Like you'd have to go to Master of Puppets, Metallica too, wouldn't you?
Okay.
You know, Appetite for Destruction. Huh?
What about Iron Maiden?
But Maiden, which one do I go for? Like that's the problem. You know, that you could pick any one of them.
Yeah.
Any one of the Maiden albums, any one of them. It doesn't make any difference. Every single one of them has something that's brilliant on it. Even the new album, the long track. Look, it's just the whole thing about Maiden. Is, you know, that's why they sell all the time, because every one of their albums has something. Has something, and it's. I won't say it's different than the last album, but it's got that. As I said to you, and I love Memorial's album, the Emma's. You know, it's great, absolutely fantastic. Irish band. You've got to bring it in. I've always loved that album. As I was explaining to you earlier on, the only negative thing I ever got about that album from any customer at all was this lad said to me it was brilliant, but it was too long.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that one before, but I did get it.
So have you ever seen?
And my last one will be Overkill's Taken Over. Brilliant. They're albums that you take out all the time and you look, you play it and it sells. You can't beat that. No.
Said to the customer, don't buy this album because it's not good music or
yes.
not a good band.
And if you know me at all, people slightly say, no, you would never say that, but I do say it. I do say it because I remember.
How the people react? Because
well, they look at me. Well, most of the people, most of the people that come in here know me.
Yeah.
So it's a personal thing, and if they don't, they get to know me. I remember years gone by when I used to buy albums, and they were very expensive at the time. You go home and you didn't like the albums, and oh God, no. And like funny enough though, most albums, 90%, 95% of albums, you bring them home, you don't like them, you leave them alone, and go back about 3 months after, and you're like, oh God, that's brilliant. That does happen, but I have said it, yes. I have said it, because an awful lot of people will think that an album that you bought, just because you like the last one, this one is the same, and it ain't.
Yes.
I'd say, well, try this, because there's so much music being released nowadays. There's bands, we just say a particular band, we just go with Overkill maybe, you know, or even Testament as a matter of fact, you know, you've got, how many bands are they involved in now? Yeah. Dublin Death Patrol, which are 2 great albums. Going back with Eddie, or Billy, that's from his hometown, which is Dublin, which is back in Seattle.
Okay. But how people react if you say buy this because they want to give money?
Yeah, well I know that, but don't let them out without buying something now, don't get me wrong.
No.
You know, but no, but see then they feel at ease with you. They feel confident with you that you're not going to sell them anything.
Yeah, yes.
I don't like doing that, I really don't. I think if you sell something to somebody and they like it, they'll come back. That's what business is all about. But it's also great to think that somebody loved it because you said it. This is a big thing, and that's a big thing for me. And anyway, even today, I'm still here and I still love that. Someone comes back and said, that was a great album, Tommy. That makes it.
So, you still go to gigs, concerts?
Yeah. Not as many as I used to.
Yeah.
Because I do an awful lot of time in the Sound Cellar, and I live a good distance away. But
what was
you know, the last concert I went to was not Metallica. It was Fleetwood Mac. The new, you know, I worked
last year.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, I worked in the promotion game with Paddy when I started first. I was 17 years with Pat, and like I worked with the original Fleetwood Mac band with Peter Green, and they were amazing. Like, you know, I can still say today that the 2 best bands I've ever seen live. The first one was Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. The second one is the new Fleetwood Mac. They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. You know, and I like all sorts of music. I love me metal. I love me thrash. I love everything hardcore. Even I love exploiters, things like that. I love all sorts of music. But they are something else. They have it down to a T. You've got the best in everything. Christine Perry is one of the best singers I ever came across. You know, I think she's an amazing singer. It's great to see her back with the band again after what, 13, 14 years.
So about metal scene these days
in
Ireland?
Great. I think it's getting better. I think it's getting better. It's the likes of the lad who runs the Rocks, Peter, who does the shows, and H is another lad. These are all exactly. They're all doing great things with the music at the moment. They always look at the right side of it. If there's a problem at the gig, they'll sort it, and that's how, you know, if you get that, people will go back to the concert because they'll feel at ease and they'll know to do well looked after.
We try to do
Exactly.
our best.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
and Tony
It's yourself
also.
as well too.
Yes.
Yes, yourself as well.
You
The
play
people
the
that you're
time.
playing the music that,
Yes.
and you know, if you have that, you've got everything. And this is like what's going
We
back
need to
to.
support metal.
That's
This
it.
way we want to listen metal in
Yeah,
Ireland.
exactly.
Yes.
Well, then that's what when it started off first with Paddy Egan with the rock enemy. That's what he was doing. He was doing the same thing as you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's how Ireland. Well, it's a small little country, but it's
Yes.
huge heart.
Yes. I believe that.
Especially as far as music is concerned. You will not. There's very few people in this business in this country that you can actually tell them anything because they know themselves already. The different bands, the different music. Fabulous.
So, any new arrivals in the store? Any new arrivals about albums?
New albums in.
Yeah.
Place is full of them. There's the Modest album that was Triptychon. Triptychon.
Yeah.
Great albums. Bring up both of them.
I
And
see
the-
Candlemas there.
Candlemas, yeah, well that's a re-release again. So,
Yeah.
which, you know, again, they still sell us. So, you know, Lamb of God again, another new one. Yeah. This is all stuff that's just coming out. It comes out all the time. That's coming out. So. There's a lovely big flow of new releases all the time. All the time. It never stops. Never stops. Massacre. That's the Dublin's Death Trolls I talked about. Memorials, Nile, hold on, Exodus. They're all still.
Yeah.
We visit. No problem. No problem.
So,
If you want me to do any more, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Nick, no problem at all.
was it nice to meet
Great
you?
to meet you.